Hey, what is going on YouTube? This is Robert, and let's jump straight into this today, basically, because I'm sure last night people saw the news. I'm sure people in America have already probably uploaded about this, but it was when I was already asleep, basically, that the news broke that basically the parent company to PSA have acquired Beckett. Ooh, ooh, don't like that. Don't like that. Don't like the monopoly that's going on there. Now, whilst some have called this like the death of Beckett, which I do, have my thoughts about. I do feel very uncomfortable with, to be honest, because of the fact that it's just like I just don't want any influence or impact to happen to them. You know that it is behind the scenes, that something's going to go wrong. You know that things are going to be manipulated. You know that things are going to be changed, and slowly but surely a lot's going to happen that we probably don't like. Even if they do say it's going to be independent, it's literally the exact same scenario of when Supreme were acquired in the past. What happened to them was basically that the stock numbers on items that were released went up exponentially. Things stopped selling out as much, and the people made as much money as possible before selling the company onto another. I don't think collectors are going to sell Beckett onto another, but it's the same sort of scenario where you get this uncomfortable feeling of, like, let's say for instance slabs were 15, from Beckett, just a straight easy 15. Oh, but they get acquired, all of a sudden they're 17. Not anything that people are going to be like, oh, that's crazy, but it's that minimal amount that's going to start already netting them the money back on what they've initially invested, and it's like it's drained of money, it's drained of its influence, it's drained of its impact. Sold on to the next, move on. Now, whilst collectors might not do the same, I definitely feel that they're going to do things maybe in relation to black labels, maybe in relation just to times in general, maybe into just making black labels and things that were highly sought after now easier to get, like a PSA 10 and a crisp 20. So let's go into some of the articles, go into some of the things to talk about, and then move on. I do also just want to rant before this. People who go on and on about tag, okay? I just want to get this out of the way because it's really irritating to see under basically every post that I've near enough clicked on, people have to mention tag. They'll be like the big three of grading. They'll be like, yeah, PSA, Beckett, and tag, and it's like, it's like, calm down, because I always find it funny because it's like the big three of anime but the big three of grading, and they'll either take out like Beckett or CGC and put tag in there, and it's like, please stop, like, seriously. Like, I get it, you can fully go for a company and fully be like 100% on them, but god, it's uncomfortable because of how unnatural it was. And I don't know if people saw it who were just grading in general at the time, but going off on a tangent, it was so unnatural the amount tag was pushed for like that month time frame by influencers, YouTubers, streamers, everyone possible basically, or people in the hobby who have like a large following were basically tweeting or doing some sort of post, and now they're like crickets about it. It just felt so like industry plant, like how it was fabricated, this like hype and traction. Like, I think their slabs are beautiful. I really do think they're lovely slabs. But for people being like, oh, they came out the blue, they really didn't. It was like manufactured and like paid for. There's no way that you'd have that many people unless you said to them, oh, you can send us 10 and we'll just send them back to you. There's no way that it was like that. And then, you sort of reap what you sow in that case, which I feel collectors will definitely have the same thing with Beckett if they do make any changes, because with tag, what happened is they got this massive influx of traffic, huge things, said that they're going to stay as they were, and their next thing, their prices are up, their times are longer, and you just follow the same cycle that happens with other grading companies. So let's go through the articles. They say it would be independent. I think that's a crock of, but I don't believe it for a second, but you never know. Oh dear. So here it is. Collectors to acquire Beckett. Acquisition looks to elevate the historic collectibles company while maintaining its distinct brand and operations. Oof. December 15th, 2025, Collectors, a leading provider of grading and marketplace services in the collectibles industry, announced they have entered into a definitive agreement to acquire Beckett, one of the most respected companies in collecting. Was one of the oh. Beckett will remain an independent brand within the Collectors family of companies, continuing to operate with its own operations, customer experience, and standards around grading, marketplace, magazines, and price guide. I don't like this. I don't. The acquisition reflects collectors' commitment to strengthening the hobby by supporting trusted brands that serve distinct collector bases. What? With this addition, collectors will look to enhance Beckett's offering while preserving the ability for hobbyists to choose what is best for every unique item in their collection. Are you going to be able to like go onto Beckett and be like, you know what? I want to send this off to PSA because I didn't get a good grade, and you could just do that? I would hate that. I would absolutely hate that. I also hate the fact that they mention PSA down here on the same page that you're talking about Beckett is. We then have a quote from the CEO of Collectors. Brilliant. Great. I'm pleased to share that the iconic Beckett is joining the Collectors family and will continue to operate as its own independent brand within our portfolio. Portfolio. Keep that in mind. Keep that word in mind. Portfolio is something that they will definitely pocket watch. The first card I ever submitted for grading was to Beckett, and I consider collectors custodians of this important icon in the hobby. We believe that strong, well-supported brands help grow access to the hobby, or being a monopoly helps grow your pocket, you know, and helps make them deeper, you know, to fill with more money. Beckett is in good hands with the collectors team, who are first and foremost hobbyists and fans. So we appreciate their commitment to the Beckett brand and their willingness to invest in the people who make it valuable. We look forward to seeing Beckett continue to build on its legacy in its next chapter. Orders at Beckett and PSA will continue to be processed normally. There will be no change in pricing as a part of this acquisition. Can we frame that and just look like 6 months ahead of time, just in case? Can we just... Okay, so let's go on some memes and some tweets. Big hits, no upcharge. Let's see how long that goes. Let's see. If they upcharge for a 10, a Beckett 10, a black label, anything like that, I think it will be the biggest downfall to it and in general for collecting. It could lead to the downfall of the prices of a 10 and what it means to have a black label 10, or it could be the beginning to a better thing, because it could mean they become so, like, I guess I wouldn't say unknown, but so like rare and scarce that they then go up in price. But yeah, going through the tweets, obviously Collectors Holding has agreed to take it. You have the comments of people saying expect more black labels. PSA owns everything, independent brand that they own, which is true. Just a lot of comments, but yet again, just as a thing, I can notice through this, which isn't a big post, but it's got 166 comments now. Scrolling through the first 30, at least 5 mention tag. Just keep that in mind, that people have to be like, oh, it's so uncomfortable. It really is. I don't see anyone under any other like posts of things being like, but you have to use this. It's like, bro. So yet again, another one. Obviously, Collectors Holding are going to acquire them. People talking about PSA BGS 10s will now be downgraded to 9s. The shock, the upcharges for black labels, it's inevitable. They saw One Piece booming and they just want it. That's what they said about SGC, then cannibalized and left them with a skeleton crew operating at like 10%. I hope not. I hope that they don't get CGC and things like that. If it's CGC next. In some of the articles, you will see them saying keeping it an independent brand, which I don't like the fact that it's mentioned over and over. I feel it's very uncomfortable. We then have from the New York Times Athletic talking about it as well and speaking about it. Just going through the whole history of Beckett and everything as well. But yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. You have another one from the Sports Collectors Digest speaking about it. Obviously, the rival is basically purchasing it, which, you know, it's I don't know. I mean, Collectors now owns PSA, PCGS, SGC, and Card Ladder. Like, it's a monopoly. It really is a monopoly. I don't know. I think that at the end of the day, it comes down to where you see it in 3 to 6 months, if any changes have occurred by that point. If people are talking about, oh wow, there are more black labels, there are more this, there are more that, or if things are easier for them to acquire all of a sudden, things that were difficult and very harsh and critical for the right reasons. You know, you see a dink on the corner, you don't let that get a 10, it goes down because of that. But if that now starts to become less accurate and less, controlled, then it is a slippery slope and a quick spiral. But yeah, I mean, you never know. They could have CGC or tag next on their list, but we'll have to see. I am just one of those people that don't fall for this sort of stuff, because I've had friends who have graded with tag, and basically every company from CGC, PSA, I've done PSA and Beckett myself. I've never done tag because of the fact that a large majority of the time their kit they have is sold out, but also because of the fact that I just didn't like where people are like, they always speak about transparency with companies, PSA being transparent, give them a crisp 20. Beckett being transparent, if you get a bad person for Beckett, I have seen across the board, I will say that they will absolutely like nuke your entire set of cards that you have graded. It's happened to a lot of people that they do a big bulk thing, they expect at least like half of them, if not more, to be 10s, and they get absolutely destroyed. But with tag, I feel that people just don't really understand the fact of how like fabricated and manipulated that hype was at first, and then they build up a sort of reputation in the end, but then they put their prices up, delay their times and such, and do what basically every other company does, while maintaining the whole like, we're going to stick to this and we're going to be true to you. They follow in like PSA and Beckett and basically every other company, where it's like, oh, it's taking longer for us to grade, let's just put our prices up, extend our times that it will be for you to get your items, and then yeah, we just follow them. Whilst it might not be on such like a large scale, I just feel that people don't want to like look at what's in front of them, and I feel that in front of me is the fact that not only will the prices go up, the times will become longer, and an upcharge might come in the future. Whether that's the distant or near future, we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, that is that. So if I come off as a hater for tag, just take away from it that I love like the slabs and things themselves from this whole thing. It's just that transparency isn't people's MO most of the time, and a lot of people just ignore the facts of things that come into play. But yeah, PSA and Beckett now owned by collectors. Yeah, I just don't like it. That's the end of. That's it. That's as far as I can get with that. I just don't like it. No. So, but yeah, it's just one of those things. Like we can't stop it. We can only be upset with it. If nothing changes and it does stay independent, brilliant. But I don't think that's going to be the case. But as always, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below, what you think this means for the hobby. And yeah, that is about all. So yeah, I do hope that you have a good rest of your day. Let me know what items you might have graded or whom you graded them with. But yeah, that is going to cover it. So I will see you all next time. Peace.